Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, Larry the Batman fan, and I am back with another video. This is a long-awaited video, pickups video that I meant to do for a while, but I've been waiting for a lot of the games to come in the mail. I recently got my tax returns back, and I kind of went crazy spending money on video games. But I wanted to come through at least once more and show y'all what I got. Oh geez, look at that Saturn back there. That's really dusty. Whoops. I do take care of my things though, guys. Ooh. Yeah, I'm surprised how dusty that thing got. Anyways, let me show y'all what I got. All these videos, games rather, that I got. First, just get this out of the way. I did get some ankle socks because I needed them for my feet, and I got these Batman socks that I'm wearing. You know, I know that that's not gaming related, and nobody really cares about that. I figured it must be mentioned in the video anyways. But I needed them, so I got them. Got them at Walmart. Anyways, for the game pickups here, I got everything in the mail except for 2 packages that I'm still waiting to come in the mail rather. So until those come in, I can't really film those. But we have the majority of the games, so I'm going to show y'all what I got. Some of these are from my girlfriend. Like, I have a couple of duplicates or games that I just don't care about, so they're going to her because she has a Sega Genesis as well. X-Men 2: The Clone Wars, very good game. Jungle Strike, the sequel to Desert Strike. That's like a it's like a flying game, but yeah, mission objectives in the game, and it's got a top-down view perspective, and you're shooting things, everything in sight pretty much that gets in your way or is trying to take down that plane. Double Dribble, the playoff edition. I only got this because it was in a lot of like 4 or 5 games, so I have it because of that reason. But I remember that original Double Dribble game on the NES. This may upset you or offend you, but I really don't care. That first Double Dribble game was shit. I mean, it had horrible game mechanics in the game. Just, it was terrible. I didn't like that game at all. And I don't get why it's praised so much. I mean, I know it's probably because of the cutscene where you see the basketball player jump up high in the air and then throw the basketball into the hoop. That animation for its time was really good, but Double Dribble, the original on NES, really sucked, in my opinion. Shadow Dancer: The Secret of Shinobi, which I think is a very expensive game, but I mean, that's one of the reasons why I picked it up anyways, and a lot, because I knew that that game was worth some money. Subterranea, kind of like a ship game. You're in a ship and you basically go through the levels. You're going around corners and everything. You gotta get used to the controls, but after you do, it's actually not too bad. Not a bad game. Road Rash 2, which I already have, so this one's going to my girlfriend. Road Rash 2 is awesome. All the Road Rash games on Sega Genesis were excellent. The first one, however, unfortunately, did not have multiplayer, but the second and the third do. So if you play Road Rash with a friend, make sure you play Road Rash 2 or Road Rash 3, because the first one has no multiplayer. But it's a good game. It's a racing game. You're going down a path, like a hill. You go up and you go down. And you also get to hit people in the face with like clubs and bats. It's a really good game. You gotta watch out for the cops too, because the cops will chase you for illegal street racing in the game. But definitely ahead of its time and definitely a good game. Super Street Fighter 2, bitches. This game's awesome. Gotta love it. Oh, and I got another copy of Subterranea from Mr. Deals for my girlfriend, so she can have that copy. Sonic 3D Blast, which is also for my girlfriend because I figured she needs all the Sonic games on Sega Genesis, and it's the only console that she owns. So she's got Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2, 3, Sonic Spinball, and now she has Sonic 3D Blast. And the only Sonic game she doesn't have is Sonic and Knuckles. She get that one and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, and she has all the Sonic games. This is not as good as the other Sonic games. They tried to go the 3D route, and at the time, 3D wasn't really perfected well. It wasn't until like the PS2 days where 3D was done, or actually the N64, because the Super Mario 64, that was a good 3D game. But before that, they had a lot of other attempts to try and make a 3D game, and they weren't really 3D. They were more like 2D with like some decent looking graphics. But I don't know. It wasn't 3D to me. And it played a lot differently than the other Sonic games. But some people say that game is terrible. I don't think that game is as bad as everybody says. It's not on the same caliber of whackness as games like Beast Wrestler and Shaq Fu, which are total garbage. Flashback: The Quest for Identity, very good game. This was another game that also tried to use 3D in parts of the game. I had this game on Super Nintendo, so I'm giving it to my girlfriend. She'll love it. It's a good game. Greatest Heavyweights. Unfortunately, when I got this from the seller, had no cover art, so I had to put this on there and tape it on there. Also for my girlfriend. It's a boxing game. Mortal Kombat 2, gotta love it. Excuse me. You can also get that game on Midway Arcade Treasures 2. You can actually play all three of them on there if you want to go the cheaper route instead of paying like $10 for each game, like $30 for all three. You could get that game and the other two, Mortal Kombat 3, on the Midway Arcade Treasures, and still have games like Narc on there, 720, Tubin, and a bunch of different. Actually, I think Tubin and 720 are on the first game. Well, they put the more violent games on the second game, Midway Arcade Treasures 2. So you get in the Mortal Kombat games, you get in Narc, you're getting Pit Fighter, I think. And you get a bunch of other games on there. So, Mortal Kombat 2, ladies and gentlemen. Zombie Ate My Neighbors, also a rather expensive game. It was in with three or four other games, and I saw that and got seller. I think wanted $50, and I offered him like 40, and he took it, so I got it with the other games. That's worth it. Definitely worth it. Bugs Bunny and Double Trouble. Another game that tried to do 3D on the Genesis, but it just wasn't quite 3D. It's not a bad game, though. Samurai Showdown with a slightly ripped cover there. Very good fighting game. The fighting mechanics were good in this game. They worked well. Can't really complain. Got that at Mr. Deals. Anything with this sticker on it, that's how you know it's from Mr. Deals. Tasmania. I haven't had a chance to play it. I've seen gameplay on it. There's like 5 or 6 Looney Tunes games on the Sega Genesis. Tom and Jerry Frantic Antics. Very good game. The only frustrating thing is that there are some like cheap deaths in this game. Because there are parts in the game where you're running really fast to catch the mouse. And then like you're trying to jump over the pit, but you can't quite see the pit. So you're like running, and then before you get to jump, you already fell in the pit. So there was some things that come in the game like you don't see right away. So that's how you end up dying. A good example of being able to see what is ahead of you without falling in the damn pit is Super Mario Brothers. But they didn't really do that in this game, so there's a lot of cheap deaths. That's the only thing that sucks about that game. Judge Dredd, licensed game. I don't assume that's any good. That could be dog shit. Cool Spot. Basically, 7-Up's attempt at a mascot. I got this game for relatively cheap. It was only like $7 or $8, so I picked it up. Could be an okay platformer. From what I've seen, it looked interesting. But I have heard that it sucks. But I could be wrong. You know, it's all about personal preference sometimes. Sometimes these games that come out, people say are total crap. They end up being total crap. And then other times they end up being okay. They're not as bad as everyone says. So, Weapon Lord, Namco fighting game. Namco usually made decent games, so that game could be decent. A lot of those fighting games back on the Genesis, though, a lot of them do suck. Like Beast Wrestler, Shaq Fu, Deadly Moves. Terrible games. Time Killers is terrible, you know. But there's a few that are outside of Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter that are decent. Super Smash Bros. TV, very good shooting game. A lot of fun. Bingo! I'd buy that for $1. Very good game. Kid Chameleon, very good game. You play as a kid, go through levels, and it's like a platformer game. But when you level up, you can turn into an actual chameleon and do more damage, and it's pretty good. I like it. X-Men 2 again, they have a duplicate. And Olympic Gold, which is another sports game. And that's the majority of the Genesis stuff here. Actually, I got a few more to show, and I think that most of them are from my girlfriend. We've got Pitfall: The Mayan Adventure, or Mayan Adventure. Excuse me. The game's also on Super Nintendo. I played both versions. The only difference is that the sound is a little bit better on the Super Nintendo versus this version. And they also surprisingly ported this to the 32X. The 32X, as we know, was a failed console adaptation to add on to the Sega Genesis. And most of the games that were on it were just ports of the Genesis versions. But this game's okay. It's not bad. Better than the NES version for sure. Justice League Task Force. I have this game complete in box, so this is going to my girlfriend. But it's not a bad fighting game. Gets a lot of hate, but I don't think it's as bad as everyone says. Miss Pac-Man. I actually have 2 copies of this game on Sega Genesis. It's also on Super Nintendo. Everybody loves Miss Pac-Man. Like, get out of your mind if you don't love Miss Pac-Man. That's great. Great fun. 6-pack. My girlfriend has this game as well. You get some good ones in here. You get Golden Axe. You get the Streets of Rage. You got Sonic the Hedgehog, Revenge of Shinobi, Columns, and Super Hang-On. All great games. Not a big fan of Columns because I'm not a big fan of like puzzle games, but it's not a bad game. Here's one that's expensive, and this was in a different lot. Phantasy Star 3. Great game. One of the best RPG games you could get for the Sega Genesis. Physical form, this is around a $40 game. Not too shabby to get that in a lot with a bunch of other games. I do recommend, though, getting it on the Sega Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection on PS3 or 360. Get that version. The PS4 version, the problem with the PS4 version is it lacks some games. It says it got 50 games on it, but why isn't Sonic the Hedgehog 3 on there? Doesn't make sense. So I would get the PS3 version or 360 version. Then you get all the Phantasy Stars. You get the Sonic games. You get a bunch of good ones. You get Alien Storm. You get Beyond Oasis. You get the Vector Man games. You get a lot of good ones. The Tick, based off the TV show. Could be shit, but it might be actually good. I don't know. Sometimes TV shows that make a game, they're not garbage, and the same with movies. You know, you never know. Aladdin and Lion King on Sega Genesis were very good video games based off the movies. Now we go on to the Wii U stuff I have here. I picked up a Wii U recently and I got a few games. I also have about 5 more games coming in the mail with a bunch of other games like PS3 games, PS4 games, and 1 or 2 Xbox One games, even though I don't have an Xbox One, are coming in the mail. I got ZombiU here. This is a great survival horror game for the Wii U. I think it's a lot of fun. Definitely has a lot of jump scares in the game. Definitely you got to know when to sneak around corners and set up traps to kill the zombies. And there are times in the game where you actually have to set up cameras so that way the prepper guy that's helping you in the game can activate them, and that way you can see what's coming. So, and plus this version had like the Wii U gamepad where like you're looking down at your backpack for items to pull out, and it really does have the tension because while you're doing that, there may be a zombie getting close to your location, and you gotta kind of look up at this TV and then down at the gamepad. So, and the PS4 version or PS3 version did not have that. So, this was a nice touch. The only thing I will say that sucks is that you do not get to upgrade the cricket bat. And the way he swings the cricket bat is not the best. There could have been another way to add that into the game to make him swing that bat like crazy. Have a little bit more freedom with the cricket bat because it's very easy to die with just using the cricket bat. And the shooting with the actual pistol, why does it take 3 hits to kill a zombie in the head? It should only take 1 hit. Like for real, like that's bullshit. But other than that, this is a good game. I'm going to show off the other Wii U games. Might as well. Hyrule Warriors, I haven't had a chance to play it, but I know it's basically like Nintendo's answer to Dynasty Warriors, and it's supposed to be very good, but very repetitive. But it's not bad. You get to play as Link or Zelda, and you go through the levels, kicking all sorts of ass. You know, just beating up hordes of enemies in the game with your sword, and whacking them, knocking them to the ground, and killing them off. It's not a bad game. Splatoon. This is a good game. I did get this game. I actually had Super Mario 3D World, but I returned it to Mr. Dale's because it was scratched, and I wanted to get a different game because I have another copy of it coming in the mail with the other games that I mentioned before, the PS4 games, the PS3 games, the Xbox One games. So I didn't really need it, and I decided to get Splatoon as well. So I got Splatoon, and the only thing that's annoying is when I got to the city, I found out you need internet to play the game. Like, this sucks, because they may have taken the servers down for the first Splatoon game, so this game may be useless. If that's so, then that really stinks, but we're going to try. Me and my friend Joseph are going to try this online and see if there's actually servers for it still. And if there isn't, then I wasted my money on it. So hopefully that isn't the case. And of course, I'm such a big Batman fan. I got Batman Arkham City Armored Edition for the Wii U. I have this game on Xbox 360, I believe, and PS3, but I am such a big fan that I had to get this. The one plus for this version is there is some Wii U gamepad touch things that you have to do, which adds to the gameplay. So that's nice. That's a nice touch. But other than that and 1 or 2 other things, it's still the same game, but it's a great game. I recommend it if you have a Wii U Or if you don't have a Wii U, if you have a PS3 or a 360, you can play it that way. Some of these games here I got from DK Oldies. Call of Duty 2, Big Red 1, they just sent it to me like this. That's a good game. Dark Souls 2, I don't know if I showed this off, but I did get a copy of this, and it's still factory sealed, so I have not played it yet. But I know it's a tough game. And it has a little bit of survival horror elements to it, but it's not really that scary. It's just that it's a dark game. And it plays, kind of like Demon Souls in a way. Kind of like that. So it's a hard game, but I'm going to eventually pop that in and play it. Ape Escape on the Loose for PSP. I picked this up for cheap, so I decided to get it. DK Oldies only wanted like $7 for it. So I figured, what the hell, I'll buy it. And I did. Haven't had a chance to play it. They had the best price on Star Ocean until the end of time. All the retro game stores in my area want like $15, $20 for this game. I ended up getting it off of DK Oldies for I think $7.99, so you can't really beat that. I've never played any of the Star Ocean games, but I've heard that they're a lot of fun. They're good RPGs. So I look forward to playing this. Enclave was just picked up on a whim. I don't know anything about this game. Couldn't tell you anything about it. I'm going to play it and then I'll have a review on it to let y'all know if it's good or if it's a total fucking garbage. But hopefully it's not garbage. Bionic Commando is a good game. Very good game. You stretch your arms out. You fight people in the game. For NES standards, very good game. I like it. Turbo Racing. I believe that's what it's called. All Unser Jr. What a weird name. Turbo Racing. We'll just call it Turbo Racing. Never played it. Haven't had a chance to play it. POW plays like a cheap Metal Gear Solid. Not as good as Metal Gear Solid, but not a bad game. Although the respawning in the game is a pain in the butt. Because when you walk out of a room and then you go to the left and then you go back into that room, the enemies respawn. Which sucks. Wrath of the Black Man to have that that problem as well. And the Ninja Turtles game did too. Dragon Warrior is a good RPG game. Very fun. I don't have Dragon Warrior 2, 3, or 4, but I got the first one. And then Bart versus the World. The Simpsons Bart versus the World. Which I've heard from the Angry Video Game Nerd that this is a crappy game. Along with the Bart meets Radioactive Man. And that other Simpsons game that was on NES. Bart versus the Space Mutants. Yeah, I've heard this game sucks, but I wanted to try it out for myself to see. Plus it was only like $8 off DK Oldies, so I figured, I'll give it a try. How bad could it be? We'll see how bad it is. When I get the chance to play it, I will let y'all know if it's crap when I do an NES collection. So anyways, that's all I have for now. That's quite a bit of games. And the socks, of course, that I needed. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And stay tuned for more gaming videos. They're coming. God bless you all and have a great day. Bye.